You're not tired. Let's be honest, you're undisciplined. There's a big difference. One is earned through effort. The other is surrendered through excuses. You weren't born to be weak. You weren't designed to complain, to scroll your way through life, or to hide from pressure. You were born into a world that demands something from you: presence, courage, responsibility. But somewhere along the way, the softness crept in. Too much comfort, too much noise, too much waiting for someone else to tell you who you are and what you're worth. Let me remind you, you don't need their approval. What you need is discipline. Because no one's coming to save you from laziness. No one's forcing you to rise. That's your choice, and it always has been. So the question is, will you keep blaming fatigue, or will you own the truth and fight to become the person you were born to be? This is where the warrior wakes up. Number 1, wake up early. Master yourself before the world wakes. Wake up early, not just to beat the sun, not to impress anyone. Wake up early because that's when discipline is forged in the dark, when no one's watching. The Stoics didn't chase comfort. They chased character. And there's no better training ground for character than the first hour of your day. Because while you're still dreaming, someone else is moving. While you're arguing with your alarm clock, they're already at war with their laziness, their excuses, their weaknesses. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, wrote, "At dawn, when you struggle to get out of bed, tell yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being." That line should echo in your mind every morning. You weren't born for ease. You were born to rise. To step into the stillness before the world gets loud. To reclaim your mind before distractions take it hostage. Wake up not for the world to see you, but for you to see who you're becoming. Number 2, silence before the world speaks. Before the world speaks, you must learn to sit with yourself. That first hour of the morning, before the texts, before the emails, before the noise, that's sacred. That's where strength is born. Because if you can't command your own thoughts before the world interrupts them, how will you ever command your life? Sit in stillness. Not to escape, but to confront. To hear your thoughts before they get drowned in distractions. To look your doubt in the eye before someone else tells you what you should believe. This practice is not glamorous. No one's watching. No one's clapping. And that's exactly why it's powerful. No one will force you to do this. And that's the point. Every morning is a test. Will you hand your mind over to the chaos? Or will you claim your clarity before the world takes its first breath? Your silence is your fortress. Build it daily. Number 3, speak less, move more. Talk less, move with purpose. That's the code. The Stoic doesn't explain himself. He doesn't perform for approval. He embodies what he believes through action, through restraint, through consistency. Epictetus said it best, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Think about that. Every time you over-explain, over-talk, overshare, it's not power you're giving off, it's doubt. And in a world obsessed with noise, silence becomes a form of rebellion. You don't need to narrate your growth. You don't need to convince anyone of your path. You walk it, quietly, boldly, relentlessly. Because real presence can't be faked. Real strength doesn't announce itself. And the man who knows who he is, he doesn't need to be loud. Let your silence build curiosity. Let your actions speak volumes. And when the world wonders what you're up to, let your results answer for you. Number 4, train hard. Strengthen the body. Fortify the mind. Train hard. Not for the mirror, not for attention, but for the war that hasn't arrived yet. Seneca trained his body not for vanity, but for virtue. Because he knew what we often forget. A weak body invites a weak will. And a weak will collapses the moment life applies pressure. When you train, you're not just lifting weights, you're lifting resistance. You're facing discomfort on purpose. You're teaching your mind to stay calm when it burns, to push forward when it aches, to finish even when no one's watching. The gym isn't the stage. It's a battleground. The sweat, the silence, the repetition, it's not about looking good. It's about becoming unbreakable. Because when life hits hard, and it will, it won't ask how many likes your last post got. It'll ask how much pain you've practiced, and whether your discipline was built for real storms or just digital applause. Train not for show. Train so you don't fall apart. Number 5. Stay unknown. Build in the dark. Stay unknown. In a world addicted to attention, silence is strength. Everywhere you look, people chasing views, likes, followers, broadcasting their every step but building nothing that lasts. But here's the question you have to ask yourself. What are you really building when no one's watching? What exists when the applause fades and the spotlight turns off? The Stoic builds not for recognition but for respect, especially self-respect. He doesn't need to be seen. He needs to be real. Because fame? It's vanity in disguise. It seduces you into performing instead of progressing. It poisons focus, distorts purpose, and tricks you into building for validation, not excellence. So step back. Work in the shadows. Let your roots grow deep before the world sees the tree. Build not to be noticed, but to become undeniable. Your silence? It's not weakness. It's your edge. Number 6. Return to the warrior. Return to the warrior. Not the version of you shaped by comfort, noise, or the approval of others, but the core, raw version, forged in silence, tested in solitude, and driven by discipline. Every cold morning you rise before the world wakes. Every workout no one sees. Every word you hold back until it truly matters. These are not random acts. These are steps back to who you were always meant to be. You see, Stoicism isn't about sounding wise. It's about becoming unshakable. It's about showing up when no one's watching, training when no one's cheering, and mastering what truly matters in the dark. So take the colder path, the quieter one, the harder one, because the world doesn't need another voice trying to fit in. It needs men who found themselves in the silence and came back stronger. Number 7. Rule the mind. Master the moment. If you don't rule your mind, it will rule you. A Stoic doesn't react to emotion. He responds from strength. Every burst of anger, every wave of fear, every flicker of doubt, those are not threats. They're tests. Tests to see who's in control, you or your emotions. Your mind is a fortress, and if you don't guard it, the world will breach it. Marcus Aurelius said it best. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You don't need to have an opinion on everything. Sometimes, silence is sovereignty. When someone offends you, when the situation spins out of control, breathe, name the emotion, ask yourself, does this feeling serve me? If the answer is no, replace it. Don't act when emotions are loud. Act when values are clear. The weak are slaves to emotion. The strong are led by principle. Be the strong. Be the one who chooses, not reacts. When life hits, and it will, you won't crumble. Because you weren't built for applause. You were built for war. While others scroll, sleep in, or laugh at the grind, you rise, you endure, you sharpen. You wake up before the world stirs. You train when no one is watching. You speak only when your words carry weight. Not for attention, but because you've become something rare, unshakable, disciplined, real. That's what Stoicism is. Not empty philosophy, but a way of living quiet, fierce, and rooted. A daily rebellion against comfort. A return to the warrior within. So the next time the storm comes, don't flinch. Stand firm. You were built for this. Share this with someone who needs it today. If you found a sense of peace in this message, follow us to keep receiving ancient wisdom from modern life. Thank you for being part of Ancient Stoic Secrets.